Breaking the Silence is a podcast that dives into the intricate and often challenging topics of grief and loss within relationships. Through insightful discussions, the podcast aims to explore how pain can be transformed into purpose, leading to healing and growth. By addressing themes such as inner child work and the journey towards feeling alive once more, this podcast offers a beacon of hope for those navigating difficult emotions. Ultimately, Breaking the Silence aims to guide listeners towards moving forward and embracing all the blessings that life has in store as they embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual fulfillment. I'm your guide through this journey, Renee Wallace, and I invite you to join me as we break the silence surrounding grief and loss, transforming pain into purpose, and finding hope in the healing power of storytelling. Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Renee Wallace, and I am so happy you are here with me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about when I decided to start this podcast. The reason for that, and I know I shared my vision and all that in the beginning, but I just sort of want to touch on that. In that ideally, I wanted to use my voice, and I wanted to use my voice for a couple reasons. One, to speak my truth in what I experienced, and to also for it to bring healing for myself. And then in that, if it helps a single listener to hear my story and for me to speak about my life and different things, then that is just an added bonus. And I'm super thankful for that. And the more people, even if it's just one person, that is perfect for me. But ultimately, it was also about me, my healing, and just, like I said, speaking my truth. And so these last few episodes, even just getting to know me a little bit and sharing a little bit about me, Brian's story and stuff has been really so much fun. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it. And so now this is actually going to be the last episode for this season. I have lots of things that are going to be coming up, and, lots of exciting things even for my family. My son's going to be graduating. So, senior prom, graduation, all the things. And so I'm going to end this season here, and then so this will be the last episode, and I will pick back up August 7th, will be the first launch of the second season. And that's when we'll really start to get into some different topics. And of course, there will still be stories interwoven in there of, my journey and experiences and things like that, but also talking about inner child work and attachment theory and our attachment styles, still talking about grief and loss and all those things, because all those things are really intertwined together. I mean, the inner child work and the attachment style, all that stuff starts at the beginning and then creates basically our life and the patterns and the behaviors we see. And so when we really start to unravel that stuff and really look at it, we can see then how that played out throughout our life in all different kinds of situations, whether it's relationships, in work, intimate friendships, whether it's career, it all plays out. And that's why we can consistently, when we look back and we're honest with ourselves and really willing to reflect on things, we will then see the patterns that have played out in our lives. And I know I can absolutely attest to that and say, when I really started doing the work, the inner work, seeing the consistent patterns that I knew and I've mentioned this before, but the 360 cycles, basically, where we get stuck in the same old cycles over and over. And once we start to really dive into that, we can say, okay, it's time to do a 180, something totally different, like not the same cycle. And so, with that said, I've thought a lot about how I want to wrap this up for you, at least for this season. Um, I think one thing that I would want to share with you for you to keep in mind is that I think that when we are on, well, I know that when we are on our journey towards healing, um, we often will take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, right? I think that is life in general. And so I would encourage you to embrace that. We are not perfect people. We don't get it right every time, but the purpose is to move forward and take steps that are maybe different, a little bit different than what we would normally do. A lot of times, what I feel comfortable doing, because again, my brain and my inner child wants me to do what is comfortable, what makes me feel safe, right? But that isn't always the best thing for me. That does not serve me well. So a lot of times I'll look and be like, okay, here's what you want to do, Renee. You need to actually do the opposite. And sometimes we have to step into the really hard thing of doing the opposite. Because, I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's true. If we keep doing the same things and we keep doing what feels comfortable and safe, we stay stuck in the same place, potentially our whole life, and just repeating the same patterns, maybe with a different person, maybe in a different job, maybe with a different friendship, whatever, but it still all plays out the exact same way in the end, pretty much. What is that? Like, same story, different face or whatever, same story, different job. Anyways, so embrace that you're going to take steps forward and celebrate that. And when it feels like we slide back and, we might be frustrated with ourselves, have so much grace with yourself in that you are working to heal. And it is not easy. It is not an easy process. It is work. It is beautiful work and good work, but it is work. And sometimes it's hard. And I know even a lot of times when we feel all those, if we start to allow ourselves to feel the emotions and the feelings that are coming up, it doesn't always feel good. But I still would say good. Like, even if you're like starting to acknowledge the feelings that you're having, like, I'm feeling really angry right now, or I'm irritated or frustrated or sad or excited or whatever. Even when you start to just like notice, like, hey, what is this feeling I'm feeling right now? That is huge in itself, that you're beginning to allow yourself to feel those things. And so, yeah, I guess that's it. I guess just grace with yourself. It is definitely a journey. It is not always just like smooth sailing forward. That is not life. That is not realistic. It's not practical. And just, I think, know every step that you take forward, regardless of how small it is a step forward. And celebrate that. Be proud of yourself for that. And I'm going to leave you with this. I just happened to look over, and I'll share a tiny little story with this. I did share this on my social media if you follow me on social media, and if not, then you'll hear about it here. So I had bought a board, like a letter board where you can put like affirmations or whatever. And so I told my kids they could I decided on what I wanted it to say, and I told them they could do the letterboard for me. And so I'm going to leave this with you. Well, I'll tell you the story and then I'll leave my thought with you. So I decided on what I wanted to say was that I am open to receive love in abundance. And my kids got a kick out of teasing me like, oh, who is it? Who's the guy? And I told them love can come in many forms, and it can even be in friendships or whatever. And so anyways, it was sort of interesting because, I had stated that I was open to receive love and abundance and just really embracing the idea of that. And it just transpired into a neat thing of where I really did experience in that weekend that my kids had done that I think it was like a Wednesday or something. Anyways, then I went away on a trip and really experienced just being open to receive, just really embracing open and all that, whether it was in love or abundance. And so what I leave with you is that I pray that you are just open. That is one thing I have to ask my clients to be in coaching. Are you willing to just be open to the possibility? And just envision holding your hands open to receive whatever it is for you, whatever you learn here in my podcast, whatever you learn, if you ever choose to do coaching with me, just being open to the process of receiving and being open and willing to look at things. Because when we're open and willing, that is when healing can take place. So I have really enjoyed starting this podcast, launching it the past, 8 episodes, I think there have been. And it has been fun. It has at moments been, there have been tears, of course, as I've shared Brian's story and pieces of my story, pieces of the loss that I have experienced. But it has been so much fun. I really have enjoyed it. And I look forward to the next season and having guests on with me and all the different things we'll talk about. I send you off with so much love, and I would so appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. That would mean the world to me. Alrighty, I will see you in August.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking the Silence. As we conclude our time together, let us carry forward the stories we've heard, the emotions we've shared, and the connections we've forged. Remember, the journey through grief and loss is not one we walk alone. In the silence, we find solidarity. In our shared experiences, we find strength. And in our vulnerability, we find resilience. If you or someone you know is navigating the complexities of grief, know that there is support available. Reach out, lean on your community, and remember that healing is not linear. It's a journey, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, may you find peace in the spaces between the silence. Please be sure to subscribe below and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at Coaching with Renee.